I'm here with Joseph, and I want him to introduce the great work he's doing for the country, but also for the movement that's happening in fintech finance and all things blockchain. Joseph, thank you for being with us.
Oh, the pleasure is mine.
So talk to us a little bit about your work at the top level, because really everyone's trying to see, is Hong Kong going to take that third financial center, not for finance specifically, but this fintech, right? Technology and finance, which obviously includes digital assets, blockchain, and AI. So what are your thoughts about this, and what do you do for Hong Kong in general?
Sure. Well, from Hong Kong perspective, right, we are already the leading international financial center in Asia. Under the Global Financial Center Index, we rank number 3 in the world and number 1 in Asia. Indeed, if you look at different league table in traditional finance, be that equity IPO, bond insurance density, AUM or cross-border wealth, we top the league table. However, we believe that the development of fintech and also Web3 is going to replace and displace a lot of traditional functions and services. But it will also generate and develop a lot of new product services. So if we want to maintain our leading position, we really need to make sure we support the fintech development well in Hong Kong. And indeed, we do see our edge because a lot of the biggest financial institutions, they set up their biggest presence or regional headquarters in Asia here in Hong Kong. So that for fintech companies, if they want access to potential investors, they want access to potential customers, if they want access to potential business partners, here in Hong Kong is the best place for them to get those. Right. In terms of policy, of course, we need to make sure we have a very robust and transparent and predictable regulatory regime for the industry. At the moment, we see 4 pillars for our regulatory regime. One is the virtual asset exchanges. We already launched that licensing regime. We now have 11 licensed virtual asset exchanges in Hong Kong. Oh, wow. The second pillar is the stablecoin issuer. We just commenced our stablecoin licensing regime last month. So we'll see how it goes. We have the first batch of applications coming in. And then the third pillar will be the digital assets service providers. And the fourth pillar will be the virtual digital assets custodian providers as well. We just finished our public consultation period last month in the third and fourth pillar in terms of licensing regime. We're now reviewing the comment collected, and hopefully in a very near future, we will be able to share our view and the details of the licensing regime for the virtual assets dealing service providers and also the digital assets custodian providers as well.
Wow, that's very interesting, because I learned a lot right now. I didn't know that it was so robust. I didn't know that it was so dense, because you've broken down almost every part of the industry into its own regulatory agency, or maybe not a complete new agency, but its own licensing, because not all licenses are created equal. Not all regulations should be created equal. That's kind of, and I don't want to harp on any one jurisdiction, but the problem happening in Europe right now is that MiCA kind of put it all under one umbrella. And it just doesn't work like that, because what if I want to work with this and switch it? It just breaks it down, right? But then you have VARA and AGGM, which is the UAE regulatory bodies. They seem to be more open book. They're going to do more for the world, and if you want to do business as an exchange or an operator there, but they still haven't made it so robust that you guys have. What was exciting to hear about you guys and what you're doing for each part of the regulation is, as again, not every license is created equal, right? DeFi from DePIN, which are two different things, but both might create yield, are different topics. Exchanges, all the way to startup, are going to command and do different things at different levels, so they're going to require different licenses. So I'm excited to hear more about that, and we'll do keep an eye on that. Is there one part of the industry that excites you most to go after? Because exchanges are the ones that bring in the money, but traders are inherently the most headache for the community, and it's not the way we want the future of blockchain and crypto to go, but digital assets, tokenization, real estate tokenization, which is the holy grail. Does any one part of this industry excite you most personally?
Well, I have to say that we have seen a lot of exciting projects over the years. Indeed, it was a few years ago back then, we already seen a Hong Kong developer issue tokenization of the real estate projects already. So it was done a few years ago. Right. And indeed, we, the government, tried to lead by example as well. A few years ago, the Hong Kong government, we ourselves issued our own NFT at our FinTech Week. And then it was 2 years ago, the Hong Kong government became the first government in the world that issued tokenized government green bond. And then last year, we see that within the Asia Pacific region, the first spot virtual asset ETF, exchange traded fund, was listed and traded on Hong Kong Stock Exchange as well as the Asia's first. So indeed, we have seen different market development, and some of them were led by Hong Kong as a government. At the moment, right, we've seen tokenized funds not just in Hong Kong, but I'm glad to see that actually tokenized fund issued in Hong Kong is now distributed in the Middle East already, with joint venture with the local financial institutions there. So I would say that I'm very excited about all these projects we've seen over the last few years. One more thing I would like to add is from the government standpoint, it's more than just regulation. We try to promote development of Web3 through different means. For example, not long ago this year, we just launched through Cyberport, right? Our public agency, Cyberport, we've launched a subsidy scheme for Web3 and blockchain projects. And since then now, we have 9 projects already approved under the subsidy scheme, so that they receive subsidies for testing and also for the commercialization stage. For example, we have a project Ensemble by HKMA, our banking regulator, so that the project Ensemble, more tokenization of deposit and other financial instruments can be tested and attached to this infrastructure. And for example, I think talent is crucial as well, right? Web3 talents. So in Hong Kong, we have put fintech talents on the talent list, meaning that talents from around the world who have fintech or Web3 expertise, they can come to Hong Kong with immigration facilitation as well. So we really try to boost the development of Web3 here in Hong Kong through different means in terms of infrastructure, talents, subsidies, and a very transparent and predictable regulatory regime as well.
With that last, you mentioned talent a few times. That equals the community, right? That equals the startups, the builders, the grinders, which are the heartbeat and the backbone of all of this, Web3, AI, and all these buzzwords. But really, it's the talent. And you're at the center of Asia with the most amount of brain drain out of different countries into, because you're so open. And I'd hope that the startups now can feel a little better listening to you, listening to the regulators saying we're actually more in your side. I hear your institutional side, which obviously we all need to fight, because without those logos, we can't expand. But the startups are also like, how about us? Which license do I go after? Which regulatory body do I listen to, right? Which is why Dubai became so famous so quickly, because they have different jurisdictional bodies from DMCC, DIFC, one's for commodities, one's for fintech, and then the VARA at the high level. So what I hear from you is it's almost doing a very open-minded approach for the top level, but also taking care of the talent, which is the community, which is the startups. Did I get that right?
Yes, indeed. I think building an ecosystem requires a multi-pronged approach. And that's exactly what we're trying to do in terms of infrastructure, talents, certain funding and investment, and of course also a very clear and transparent regulatory regime as well.
Right. I appreciate your insight. I learned a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing all the different regulations, the licenses, because every country, every company that wants to come into Asia, Southeast Asia, looks to you guys first. Singapore is a little different story, but on the regulatory side, because of finance and fintech, it's Hong Kong. So it's a shining star, and we're hoping that it can continue being that shining star. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have come in store.
Yeah, we'll keep working on that.
Yeah, appreciate it, Joseph. Thank you for your time.
So much. Pleasure. Thank you.